Alright, welcome to the fourth modeling tutorial. In this one, we are going to model a chair. So, we're going to create our new project folder. File, project window, then do new, and to do a chair. Make sure it's in the location that you want it, and then hit accept. I'm going to do file, set project, set chair. Alright, so then we're going to import our reference images under the front view. I'm going to go to view, image plane, import image, find our images. I'm going to do the front view of the chair. I'm going to go ahead and open it. And then under our side view, we're going to go to view, import plane, import image, and then find our side view. There we are. Hopefully we'll take a look real quick, make sure they match pretty close, I would say. I can say it's out pretty good so far for it matching. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and select both. I'm going to scale them up, just so we're not working in a small space area. Going to move these images up so we're above the access line. And then I'm going to go ahead and move these out of the way from our grid. Alright, that should do so far. We're going to go to our attribute editor and make sure we have them looking through the camera. So we're only seeing them in the side view that we want. Make sure. Yeah, looks like we got them where we want it. Sorry. So that looks about right. So let's go ahead and go to our front view here. And I think what we will start with first are the padding of the seat, the main part of the seat. So what we're going to do is we are going to create Polygon primitives, do cube. I'm going to bring the cube over. We're going to scale that cube. Looks like we might have to remove that image on the other side so we can see it. Let's take a look. Alright, so it looks like, let's go ahead and do X-ray so we can kind of see our shape here. So it looks like our image is kind of in front of the camera. So it looks like we might have to move it so we can see our cube in front of the image. So I'm going to go ahead and select that image. We'll go to our perspective here. You can kind of see, even though you can't see in the perspective, it's still there. I'm going to hit W, and I'm going to move it this direction, just so we can kind of see the cube in front. And then I'm going to select the front view, and I'm going to move it this way. Alright, that should do. So let's go back now that we can see our shape in front of the reference image. I'm going to go ahead and grab let's see, let's go to the front view. I'm going to go ahead and go on shading, turn on X-ray, and let's make sure. So it looks like we have it outlined pretty well so far. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the vertices. And we're going to move it about right here. And grab the side here, move it along about right there. Same thing with this side. Line it up right there for the front. So now we need to go to the side to make sure it matches the side length. Grab these vertices and go right here. So it's okay if it doesn't match exactly. It's fine. But we can probably still move it up a little bit. How about that? Just a little bit. Right there should be good. So then what we're going to do is we are going to go to perspective. We're going to grab that front face, that top face, and we're going to extrude it up so it matches about right there. So we're going to do edit mesh. I'm going to go to extrude, bring it up about right there. I'm going to go ahead and hit R for our scale, grab the center piece, and bring it in just a little bit. To help create that little piece right there. Okay. So then the next step we are going to do is we are going to bevel these edges here to kind of create a nice roundness to the cushion. So what we're going to do is we are going to select, I'm going to go ahead and just go to the side view, and I'm going to select, actually I'm going to go back to perspective, and we're going to select all these edges here. Alright, avoid these top ones. We do not want those, or these side edges here. We just want this main one. So then what we're going to do next is we are going to go under Edit Mesh. We're going to go to Bevel. We're going to hit this little square for the option box to open up this new window. And under where it says Segments, it might say 1 for you, but make sure you switch it to 2. Once you do that, go ahead and hit Bevel. And you can see that this happened. Beginning to wonder if that top part was a bad idea at first. But we'll see what happens. If not, we can always go back and kind of fix that up. So I'm going to go ahead and go into our object mode. I'm going to go ahead and hit 3. So it does look like kind of got a little bit on the top here. But it does also give us that little nice roundness that we want. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go to faces. I'm going to select this face. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit more. Go back to object mode. Hit 3. Looks a little bit better. We can be satisfied with that. Might be a bit lower, but that is completely okay. But it looks like we have a little bit too much roundness, so it is a little bit sharper. So what we're going to do, let's take a look at our channel box here. When you open it, whoops, move this over a little bit. I'm going to go back to my poly bevel, and select poly bevel under your inputs, and I'm going to go back to this segment here. I'm going to add 3 and see what happens, and see how much that holds it. See how it's So as you can see, it is holding a little bit more of this shape, and it looks like this top part is going to become an issue. So what we're going to do real quick is we're going to go to our edges, select these here, and we are going to go under Edit Mesh, delete edges and vertices to kind of get rid of that. So, as you can see though, how sharper it is getting, holding this shape right here. So I think that looks pretty good. I think it looks better, a little bit sharper. But if you want, you can always see what 4 will do. Looks like we got a little bit of extra edges there. Maybe I'll just delete those. And let's take a look. So looks like we got some issue going on with our geometry. So let's go ahead and undo that. So we have it back to our third option here. Yeah, make sure our segments are back at 3. We'll just leave it there. I think that looks pretty good, what we have. Alright, so then we are going to do something very similar to the one right here. We are going to go ahead and create Polygon primitives cube. And do the same thing. We're going to scale it to about right here. I'm going to go ahead and bring it here. So it looks like we have to start forming this shape here. So I want to use vertices to kind of help start creating that shape. About right here. Can I create that little line? This one will go about right here. Then go back to our object mode. I'm going to go to our front view. We are going to scale it about the length of the chair that we have. Right there should be good. Just double check that. It does look like it's a little bit smaller, so we're actually going to scale that back down about right there. You can always fix it too once we kind of add more to it. I'm going to go to the perspective view, and I'm going to select faces, and I'm going to start extruding to start building up this shape. So once you got that face selected, we're going to go to Edit Mesh. I'm going to go to Extrude. I'm going to go ahead and hit W, and we're going to put it about right here to kind of create that angle that we got going. I'm going to hit G, start a new one. I'm going to hit W, and I'm going to start bringing it up to the top right here. And we can fix this once we get to vertices. So about right there should be good. Take vertices, move them, kind of start aligning the pieces here. About right there should be good. We'll move this one, kind of shape it to this corner here. Alright, let's try this again. There we go. So it looks like we might need one more to kind of help create that roundness. So I'm going to go back to object mode, turn that to an object, and we're going to go to mesh tools, grab the edge loop, and we might want to do 2. So we're going to go ahead and select one right here. We'll do one right here. Then I'm going to hit W for our move tool. I'm going to right click, go to vertices, I'm going to move them to start creating that little round piece here. Looks like we might need one more actually. Get this little nice round piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Y to bring back the edge loop tool. I'm going to place it about right here, almost in the middle. I'm going to hit W for move tool, right click, go to vertices, and bring it out about right there. Then take this one, kind of help create that round shape we've got going. So let's take a look here real quick and see what we've got. Looks pretty good so far. Okay, we'll take a look back at our side view. Looks about right. So what we're going to do is we're going to select our edges. We're going to select these ones here. Do not select these. We just want kind of the outer edges. Alright, make sure we get the bottom one. And let's take a look. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to bevel it to see if it'll hold our shape. So we're going to do Edit Mesh, go to Bevel, do the option box, make sure, so segment's at 2, we'll change it to 3 to match the one from our bottom. I'm going to do Bevel. Once you hit 3 in segments, go ahead and hit Bevel. You'll see it adds our edges, create that bevel look that we want. I'm going to right click, go to Object Mode, and I'm going to go ahead and see what it looks like. Looks pretty nice. Kind of got that nice smooth edge that we want. I'll go ahead and smooth this one out. Looks pretty good. Kind of got our shape that we got going. Looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go bring these back here. It's okay if it changes a little bit from your reference. Gives it more of that creativity that you put into it. So now that we have those, I'm going to go ahead and do naming conventions. So for this one, I'm going to select where it says PQ2, and I'm going to rename it. I'm going to say top cushion. I'm going to name this one bottom cushion. Alright, so now that we have our main base of the chair so far, what we're going to do next is build the base where it'll hold the cushions. So it looks like it'll be a cylinder that we're going to be messing with. And what we're going to do is we are going to build half of it, and you're going to mirror the other half. So what we're going to do is we are going to take a cylinder. So create Polygon primitives, and whoops, accidentally select a cube. Make sure you select a cylinder, and then we're going to bring it down to 8 subdivs. So under inputs, polygon cylinder 1, go to your subdivision axis and turn 20 to 8. You can type it, or you can highlight it, middle mouse, and drag it down to 8. Perfect. So then what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to start and place my cylinder here. We're going to go to our rotate X, and we're going to type in 90. That way we kind of get it to go in the direction that we want. and I'm going to go ahead and scale it to matches about the length that we want our shape here. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it about right there. So before I continue, what I'm going to do is we are going to use the curve tool to kind of help create this base here for our chair. So what we're going to do is go to create, curve tools, CD curve tool, and we want to start where our shape is going to begin. So I'm going to go ahead and click here. I'll hit a couple to kind of make sure we build that base. We'll put one about right here. We'll place one right in the middle, right there to kind of help create that curve. We'll place one here. We can always fix these after we place the points of where we want them. Just want to make sure we have enough points to kind of help build off this shape here. Before I put the next one down, I'm going to go to my front side view, and I'm going to create the points going this direction. We can fix it in our perspective view too. I'll place it about right there. I'm going to hit W to kind of get out of it. Alright. So it looks like I might have to flip that over, which is completely fine. I'm going to grab this curve. I'm going to place it right here. So it looks like we want to use our front, so we kind of have to move our points around, which is completely fine. So let's take a look. Let's do this point here. So at this point, just kind of start grabbing your vertices and start moving them, kind of help create that shape. We'll try and get it exact as we can. Go ahead and do this. Make sure you're going back and forth. Try and get it angled. You have to go through different views to make sure it's kind of matching how you want it. And we'll always be able to fix this too. Put about right there. That looks about right. Pretty good so far. Maybe we'll bring these out just a little bit more. Oops. Go back to the vertices here. Alright. Okay. That looks about right. I'm going to kind of move these points to where they reach the center. Put them there. I'm going to try and make sure it kind of, this is a straight line. So if we hit the top arrow here and hold V and middle mouse over this point, it should align it, but it doesn't look like it's going to, which is fine. We'll just try and move it the best we can to straighten it out. We just want to try and make sure these are as straight as possible so it doesn't make it too hard for our base. Again, make sure you're going through each different view. Just make sure you get the lines the best way, as best as you can. Okay, I think that should do. And we've got a good base so far. Alright, so now that we got our curve the way we want it, we're going to grab our cylinder, move it to about right here, so it's within this part of the base. Okay. Then what we're going to do next is we're going to go to faces, grab those faces there, and then shift select the curve so we know that, so we want the faces to extrude along the curve that we created. So once you do that, go ahead and do edit mesh, go to extrude. You can see that it went down to this section here, which is fine. Then under your channel box, we're going to scroll down, go to our divisions, click it to highlight it, and then come to your negative space here, your open space here, and middle mouse so we can start adding those divisions. There we go. So it looks like 25 is the max that we can do, which is completely fine. We can always add more with the amount of edge loops we can put in. So with it being at the max, which is fine, we are going to go to object mode, and we need to remove it from the curves. So we're going to go to edit, delete by type, history. So now it no longer is connected to the curve. We are actually going to maybe move this edge over. So select that edge, double click it, so it selects all of it. Kind of get it to move a little bit. Let's take a look at our reference images. Pretty close. Maybe have to move it. Yeah, that looks about right. So what we're going to do next is kind of rotate this edge a little bit so it'll help and doesn't look it's like it's pinching. So hitting the E key to bring out our rotate, we're going to select the yellow one here. We're going to rotate it to kind of help with that. I'll use move tool to kind of get it there. So it looks like you need a little bit more edges to kind of help round off this area. So we're going to do get our edge loop tool. So mesh tools, edge loop. I'm going to add 2 here on each side of that corner. I'm going to go ahead and move it over a little bit. Make sure we rotate it so it's kind of smoothing out. It flows. Double click so it selects all of it. Kind of bring it down. Kind of rotate a little bit so that nothing's pinching. So we're going to do this. Make sure everything looks good. Looks like we might need to add some more over here as well. To kind of help create that round. So select Y to bring back your edge loop tool. kind of help create that shape more. Maybe grab this one, kind of do that, kind of help build that shape up. Kind of move these up a little bit more. Might have to add some more as well in this area, kind of help create that round piece. So hitting Y, go back to your edge loop, kind of help create that round. Oh, grab Y again, add more. You have to rotate it. Got another one here. Use your Y tool, create some more of the shape. Make sure you're rotating it a little bit to kind of help build it. So we might need one more here. Kind of help build off those shapes. Looking pretty good. Maybe we'll add one more right here. It's going to help build it. And then what we're going to do is, right where this section will meet, we're going to go ahead and add one right there as well. I'm going to go ahead and add one here and right above this section over here. Hit W, get out of that tool. Looking pretty good. Now we are going to see if we can try and connect these sides here. We'll see what happens. Actually, do they even look like they're connected is the thing that we need to double check. So it does look like they are connected. So what we're going to do is go to vertices, select these vertices here, kind of just push them in this way. So it looks like we kind of want to push these out more. I'm going to grab these two vertices, or sorry, this vertice and then this vertice. Actually, I'm going to Control Z until they're all selected again. I'm going to kind of move it down right here. I'm going to select these two. I'm going to kind of scale them in. About right here. Then I'm going to grab those two. I'm also going to scale them in a little bit. A little bit more, and I'll show you. Same thing with this one. Scale them in. Oops, accidentally had caps locks on. Alright. So then I'm going to grab these two, or sorry, these points, these vertices. And I'm going to bring them in. Actually, let's take a look real quick. Let's grab the other vertices real quick. And see our within the object here. Oops. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Now before I kind of continue on, just in case if something happens, I don't want to have to redo this. So I'm going to go ahead and File, save this scene. Save as. So if anything happens, I still have what I have last. Save. So I don't have to redo all of it. Alright. So what we are going to do is we need to try and combine these pieces here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these faces. There we go. I'm going to delete them. And then I'm going to delete these faces of this cylinder here. We're going to combine these areas. Okay. So the tool that we're going to use is a Append Polygon tool. So you're going to go under Mesh Tools and do Append Poly. Append Poly will only work if objects are of the same mesh. So we're going to grab this one, so this edge here, and then combine it to that edge. You're going to hit Enter, then you're going to hit Y to bring back the two, and we're going to do this back and forth. Oh, there we go. Alright, you're going to hit Enter. Hit Y to bring it back, and we're going to do this over and over. Always make sure you have even geometry. This is why we use 8, because it helps create that even geometry as we build it. So you're going to hit Y. Always go back to the tool, select each edge, hit Enter, saying yes, that's what you want to create. We're going to do this over and over until we fill up this space. Alright, so now we have that piece combined. Good. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we are going, it looks like we need to fix this spot right here real quick. I'm going to go to Edges, grab that edge, I'm going to rotate it a little bit to kind of help create that piece right there. Alright, so it doesn't look too skinny. So now I'm going to go to Faces, and I'm going to hit W so I can select all of it. I'm going to Shift Select all these faces, and I'm going to delete them. Alright, so after that, we have them selected. I'm going to go to our channel box here. You can see that we've moved a lot of the geometry, so we want to make sure we freeze them and bring them back to 0, so we can mirror it over it. So we can mirror the object over. So we're going to left click on Translate X, hold, and highlight over all of these. We're going to right click. I'm going to go to Freeze. I'm going to do All. So bring this all back to 0. Then we have to go to Modify. And we're going to do Center Pivot so we can see that it's right here. So hit W so you can bring up your arrows. What we're going to do next is we are going to move this pivot point to the center so we can mirror it over. So if you hit Insert on your keypad, you will see that this switches over. We are going to move this over, and if you hold X, it should snap it to the center. It'll be kind of jumpy. We're going to snap it to the center right here. Then you'll hit Insert again to remove out of your insert option. Then what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to delete the history that we've done so far. I'm going to do Edit, Delete by Type History. And then we are going to Control D to make a duplicate of this object. And once you do that, you're going to go under where it says Scale X. You're going to do -1. And once you do that, you can see that it mirrored our object over. Pretty good. So then what we're going to do is we're going to Shift select this one, and we're going to combine this piece so we can combine these edges here. So once you Shift select the other side, we're going to do Mesh, and we're going to do Combine to make it one piece. So then what we have to do is we have to make sure we connect these pieces here. So we have to go to Vertices, and selecting each of those vertices across from each other, you have to do it one at a time. We are going to combine them. And how you do that is once you have those two vertices selected, you're going to go to Edit Mesh, and you're going to do Merge. And then you'll be doing this, and you're going to do this over and over until each one is connected. So select them. In this way, you can hit G to redo the action. Oops. Hit F to kind of bring it to your the main part that you want. So if you hit F, it'll find the location that you're at the moment. And hit G. And hit G. And seal these up to make it one part. So when we smooth it, there won't be any open spaces. Alright. So we'll probably add 2 edge loops here just to kind of hold it. Whoops. We're going to go to Edit Tools, Insert Edge Loop, and add one right here. We'll add one right there. Kind of hold this shape. So now, if we hold 3, we can see that our shape holds and that this combined piece gives off that look that we want. It looks like it holds pretty well so far. Pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and select that object. I'm going to hit 1. I'm going to go ahead and hit do Edit, Delete by Type History again. I'm going to do the same thing for the rest. Or actually, no, we'll leave that for the cushions just in case if you ever want to go back and add Insert Bevel. So I'm going to go ahead and select this space here, and I'm going to type in chair frame. Always make sure we name it. You can always go back to your previous objects and name them as well. But it's always good to name it so if someone's trying to find a particular object, they can find it by the name. Alright. So then we're going to go ahead and create a cube and build this little base here. It's about that. I think that size will work pretty well. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit R for your scale tool. We're going to select, it should be a red one for your X, grab, it might even be yellow for you. Oh. And we're just going to scale it to where it looks like it'll penetrate a little bit. Yeah, that should work just pretty well right there. And then we will go to our side view, and then we'll do the same thing. We're going to take it about this one. So we want this side here. Looks like we might have to go and do vertices. So we'll go switch to vertices and move this about right there. Looks like this front needs to be a little bit longer, so we'll go ahead and hit R and we'll scale these vertices that way. And it does look like it creates, since this side is a little bit in more and this one is a little bit wider. And I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll grab these cushions here and we'll go ahead and move these down. so it looks like it is touching, laying on top of this piece here. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and we will bevel this one as well. So we want to make sure we select all of the edges. No, sorry. Make sure you are selecting the one that you want. I'm going to go ahead and select all these edges. And we will go ahead and do Edit Mesh, Bevel, go to the option box, and I think 2 should be pretty good. We'll do 2, we're going to hit Bevel. Looks like it'll hold. It looks like we want to create little base pieces for the legs here. We still have these pieces here. So we'll go ahead and grab a cube. We'll move it up here. We'll start it over here. So we'll have to go to vertices, move the points to where we want them. You could also do the curve option if you want to. I'm just going to go ahead and do the vertices and kind of just extrude it. I apologize if you hear the fire truck. Okay. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to extrude. I'm going to hit W for just the move tool. And I'm going to put it about right here, and I'm going to rotate it over, so it'll be easier to extrude that part as well. I'm going to hit G to extrude again, use my move tool, and I'm going to put it about right here. Rotate that angle right there. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab our edge loop tool, kind of build it up a little bit. I rotate it, kind of make sure nothing looks too out of place. We'll add one right here. Oops. Kind of build it up. We'll add about maybe 2 right there. And we'll go to our front view. That way we can move it where it needs to be. We'll go ahead and scale it to widen it down a little bit. Right there should be good. And it looks like it does angle, so we want to make sure it kind of matches the direction of the frame that we built. So we will go ahead and rotate it. So this might take a little bit, no, not too long, just trying to match it. That should work for now. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take our edge loop again, and we're going to put one in the middle, and we are going to kind of move it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. Kind of take a look real quick. Almost, so we kind of want to build more, more tension. So we're going to go ahead and grab the edges, grab your outer ones. You can even double click it to kind of grab your edges here. And that looks good. I think we got all of them. We're going to go ahead and bevel it and see how that works. So edit mesh, go to bevel. Let's see what 3 does. Alright. Looks pretty good. Kind of holds that shape pretty well. So looks like we might have to move it down a little bit more once we smooth it. So let's kind of push it down. If it penetrates it, that's fine. Alright. And then we're going to mirror it as well. Highlight your different layer, your channel boxes. Highlight them, so left click, hold, and drag down. Right click, freeze all. And then go back to your move tool. Go ahead and go to your front view. And hitting insert, your insert button, we are going to center the pivot point, hit insert again, and you're going to do Control D. Go to your scale 1, put a -1 to mirror it over, and there we have both parts. And I think this is pretty good for a chair. I think this works pretty well for what we have. And I think I will go ahead and end this tutorial here for the chair. Just again, make sure you save. I'm going to go ahead and save a new version, so just do File, Save As, and I'm going to put it down for Chair 2. Alright, and that ends the tutorial for the chair.